Good morning guys, James here. Welcome to Dusseldorf. Lost track of which day it is, but we're in the middle of the week. Today we're going to have a look around an Ocean 90 here on the stand. Now this boat is actually being built for a client. Lovely, lovely custom tweaks to what is a hugely popular boat in the range. Of the 20 boats in the current Sunseeker range, this is boat number 13, so fitting in just over the halfway point. She is just under 90 feet, tip to tip. In old money, if we just spin round here, show you the range running there from the Hawk 38 up to the Majestic 50 metre Ocean, and on here a few facts and figures for you. Now this particular boat is powered by the V12 MAN 1900 horsepower engines. We do a couple of different options. This is the mid-size engine, typically the most popular. Just check out that beam. She's 7.16 metres, which is almost the same as a 116 yacht. And that allows us to build this huge stern beach club. It's quite hard to take in the side profile. We'll see if we can come round on the boat at the end of the tour, down in the boulevard below us, just to get some sheer scale of her volume. But the boat is vast. For Croatian waters and places like that where you spend a lot of time at anchor away from port, she is a fantastic option. Coming into the season next year will also be the enclosed 182 model, which is going to be the same hull running gear with an enclosed bridge upstairs. So I say another option just for a different part of the market if required. So stepping up onto the bathing platform here, this section is the hydraulic high-low structure. So that's a 750 kilo lift. We'll take a Williams 460 tender. Then in front of that on the deck here, we have the option for some sliding tracks, and then that would house a jet ski also on the back there, which would slide across onto the platform and then launched into the water. This actual section here stays fixed on the boat, and then we have a sea stairs in here, so that's a hydraulic passerelle system going both down into the water and up onto the quayside. Over here on the starboard side, we have the optional fold-out griddle arrangements. That's a lovely touch for those of you who want to sit here entertaining. We've got a couple of sockets in the back with some deck sunshades, big parasols that also double up on the foredeck as well, and then this transformer back end. Obviously, lots of stuff in the press. We've covered a couple of these on the channel before, so I'm not going to demonstrate physically how this works today, but let's just say it folds away into there, gives you a nice clean stern with your illuminated name on when you're underway, and then at anchor, as you can see, pops open to give you these giant aft facing sun pads. And then in port, or even sitting at anchor for dining, the whole thing lifts up. These then become the base, and that then extends the aft cockpit with the gates open, and that gives you further seating up there above us. Of course, we've got all the working gear down here with the docking winches and what have you. The boat's got the options package, previously referred to as a platinum pack, things like the hard top upstairs. We've just come up here into the cockpit, scanning around to show you the seating that's been chosen for this particular boat, freestanding with just that coffee table set up. We can of course do more of a sort of formal classic L-shaped deck moulded seating. We can do a fixed dining table here. Obviously every owner is different in their usage, whether they prefer to sit up top or down here at the back. Very much built to spec. This is a drop down within the confines of the frame here, a drop down mesh panel for privacy when you're stern to in the marina, or just a little bit of sun protection whilst perhaps taking a drink here. You'll notice beneath us here, drains right by the door, so this is no threshold on the door. It's very, very nice. Back in here, worth noting, we've got the optional third station control here, hydraulic thruster and throttle, and the joystick that this owner has elected to go for. And over on this side, we've got a sink, a fridge, and an ice maker as well. Side doors, you can see both sides, handy for getting out onto the quayside. And these beautiful glass teak top doors leading out onto the transom. Now into the saloon, we've got these sliding glass 4 panes that open this right up, as you can see, revealing a cavernous interior. So this one's upgraded, so we've got a wood floor throughout running up to the bridge. We've got this lovely inlaid carpet for the saloon seating, and then we've got the L-shaped sofas, table, there's some storage inside that. The buffet here on the end can be made removable. We can extend this forward and move the dining table over onto the left hand side if you wish, so there's a couple of different configurations in here, but as you see her here, just check out how much space there is. So dining, we've got lovely Minotti chairs on here. You can see the stainless steel detailing, lots of upgrades to fabrics, furnishings and what have you. Forward, so we have an enclosed galley option with this one sliding across with a number of pocket doors there, and that will enclose the galley temporarily if required, perhaps if you've got a chef on board for evening dining and what have you. And then in the daytime, as you can see it configured here, we've got this lovely feature panel on the front. Pop it open, it makes the area feel a lot more spacious. Wood finishes, there's 2 woods in here. So this is a silver oak satin sheen, and then the darker wood that you can see on here is a beautiful figured eucalyptus. Again, pocket door here into the galley itself, just to keep space maximised all the time. We've got the optional crew door there out onto the starboard deck for provisioning. Very well appointed in here, so we've got a wine fridge in here, there's storage cupboards, microwave oven, and then we've got the refrigeration drawers in here, big fridge freezer on the end here, all commercial spec units. And then across on here we've got a 1.5 bowl sink, again storage, large full-size dishwasher, and then your proper oven and ceramic hob. We've got extractor and of course cupboards up top as well. Love the graining in the stone here, beautifully finished, very very nice this one. Across here they have taken the option of the main deck day head, so this will be a cloakroom as standard, but handy to have up on the top here just to save heading down to one of the cabins. Here on the port side of the saloon we've got the 2 tub chairs there. We've got the sliding patio door, which is a factory option, and a second one of those also on that side as well. Obviously huge cut in glass bulwarks on these. You'll see when we do a quick run around in a minute on the outside just how much light that then allows to come into the boat. And then on the bulkhead here, this is a custom option with the shelves integrated into the end. This is actually the return on the outside of the boat down into the crew mess, but it's given us a little bit more storage and space to put out some bits and pieces, and of course a huge 65-inch TV up there with a soundbar underneath. Boat's running a Sonos system throughout, and then we have of course things like an onboard router for internet connectivity. So just walking forward here, we go up a step and then a further raised plinth there to the observation seating area. It's a very nice place either for the captain and crew to hang out away from the owner, or perhaps somewhere to sit when underway chatting to the captain here on the helm. Feature panels again, places like behind the helm seats here. Everything has been thought about. You even see, probably hard to see on the camera here, inlaid LED lighting all the way round the dashboard. The boat obviously is under 24 metre load line, which means technically can be driven on a licence such as an ICC. So from a crewing safe manning level requirements, the operational cost can be significantly reduced over something larger. But obviously huge volume, and she is geared up for 4 crew in her current configuration. So we've got a helm and co-pilot seat here, lovely big electric. You can see all the buttons on the side here. Captain's chair. Let's just sit here so you can take in the view. Real mini ship bridge here, big triple screen with large pantograph wipers, washer systems and what have you. So we've got 24-inch dual NSS Evo 3 Simrad screens here, which are factory upgrade. The CMC electric fin stabilizer system over there. We can do these with a gyro or a stabilizer with fins, depending on which preferences there is for the owner. This is an iPad control for the AV, our monitoring panel, and then further nav screens here all around. The captain, nice little jog dial here just to save getting out of the seat to control the screens, and then they've even elected to go for the joystick control to make life even easier when docking. Of course, the boat's got things like a fire and flood monitoring system and a huge engine suppression fire system, all monitored here from the helm. But you can see it's nicely ergonomically laid out and somewhere to spend a long time if required. But it obviously has a range north of 1,000 miles at a displacement speed, so you've got the option to really explore for extended periods on time on board if you wish. We've got the further option there with the crew door from the bridge out to the deck when coming and going in and out of port. Cabins are split down 2 stairwells, so this is the forward cabin, private access to the VIP. So this is cabin number 2 on the boat. We come down the stairs here, lobby at the bottom, and then we've got a lovely desk area there, and then just spinning round this lovely centre line. 1.8 metre wide bed. You can see just how big these glass windows are, still with the opening port lights of course, and then the Roman blinds. These are very much like a picture frame window, LED feature lighting throughout. Again, lots of upgrades on the carpets and what have you. Bulkhead mounted TV up there, again with the soundbar system as we saw in the saloon. Ensuite compartment, you see beautiful porcelain tiles up on the walls there. There is access actually through the shower tray there down into the bilge below. And then this is all wardrobe behind here for you guests. We've got some storage stairs, lift up here. There's an access panel for some electrics here on the companionway as we come back up. Let's head on down and do the other guest cabins. So beautiful feature centre staircase here. This takes us down to the master and 2 guest cabins. It is possible to split the master here into 2 guest cabins, turning that front one into the master. Would give you 5 on the boat if you needed that for either a large family or perhaps for charter use, but the layout as we see it here is typically the more common chosen option. So 2 different configurations in these midships cabins. This one's configured as a permanent double, again with those lovely picture frame glass windows, AV setup and what have you. Good size wardrobes. You'll notice these nailed handles here on the doors, beautifully finished. We've got some lovely black smoked detailing as well on some of the handles elsewhere. Again, same stones and synthetics used in these areas. And then if we come across to the starboard cabin, this one is the slightly more versatile sliding bed configuration to give either a twin, as you see here, or they can be brought together as a double. The 2 little sideboards there moving outboard, sliding tracks in the floor, and that then becomes a centre line double as we've just seen. So that does give you, I say, a little bit of choice depending on whether you've got children or adults on board, and much the same as we've just seen in the other side. Good size bathroom over this side. We do combination bidets for certain territories, and then we head on round. We can put a second set of laundry equipment in here, the main set obviously being down in the crew space, otherwise they're just used for storage. And then we have this lovely master cabin. So just coming in and spinning around, try and give you a feel without the camera set on wide angle just how big it is down here. Obviously with the guest cabins aft of us, they've taken the brunt of any noise and vibration from the engine space, meaning that it's very, very quiet down here. This particular one configured as you see there with the 2 chairs and the desk. We can do this as standard with a linear sofa in here, and there's the option also just to run a sideboard through. So a couple of different configurations depending on owner's use. Obviously this is beautifully appointed as it is, and you can see the leather detailing and the stainless steel inlays and what have you. Lots of brushed metal as well on these. Very, very cool boat. Mirror face on the front of that TV panel, but it's hiding behind there with, again, the soundbar setup and this little vanity station over to port. Move into the bathroom, also I don't upset the more knowledgeable ones on the channel. The heads compartment, we've got this giant walk-in shower arrangement. You can see all the detailing on the shelves here with the little fiddle rails and what have you, and the rain shower up in the ceiling. And you can see the graining on the door here. It's lovely feature just to break it up. Again, slightly different design of door handle in this one. And then we come around this side, we've got lots of wardrobe compartments. Again, I'm not going to open everything up for you today, just give you a flavour of what this is like, and of course a full length mirror there for getting ready in the evenings. So let's head back up. You can see the opti-grey finish on the glass here on the stairs. I mean, everything's been thought out. Multi Sunseeker owner, this one. Very, very experienced. And she is absolutely wonderful. Just to give you an idea, so base price on one of these with the engines, as you see it, she's about £6.6 million ex-tax. This particular boat, we are over £8 million with all of the bells and whistles, just to give you some idea the level of detail they've gone into. So before we go upstairs, we'll have a quick look down in the all-important oily bits. Off the port side deck here, we have the crew space and the engine room. So obviously a high traffic working area, so we've got hard surface finishes on the floor and the seating, what have you. Say configured as you see her here with 4. Some owners would only run 2 on one of these. It very much depends whether it's a private or charter boat, whether they wish to have a chef on board as well. But you can see 2 mirror image cabins there. We've got laundry facilities, bathroom, observation area, and of course basic galley and monitoring panels and what have you. Of course, this is only basic because with a chef on board, they would be looked after up on the main galley setup, and then through here into the engine space. It is exquisitely finished. The detail in here is something else. Upgrades on the generators, so we'll run 232 kilowatt generators. And if we come down the outboard side of the engine here, just to give you an idea what everything's like down the back here. We've got a Glendenning cable master there for the shore power system. You can see the sea strains down the middle there, clever use of that to get the shore power lead out here on the boat show stand, and access to all the emergency steering systems and what have you down the back. We come round the front. We have things like the hydraulic pack. Engines are on a V-drive configuration, so the gearboxes are underneath these sections, and then the engines sit behind, so allows us a very compact installation, obviously, to get those vast cabins into the accommodation. You can see the generator, second one tucked down the back there. See how nicely everything is clipped up. What have you? A lot of work goes into the systems behind the scenes on these so that they are, relatively speaking, easy to code for charter. So there's lots of extra expense incurred by the factory during the build process just to make that a much more straightforward thing to do later on. See, everything easy to get at. So let's shut that one. Head back up here, we'll shut this door. And you can now just see how big these glass balcony doors are, so well above my head height here, running all the way, as you see, right down to the deck. And then we've got these cut-in bulwarks. You can still see practical touches, things like the side deck cleats here, but lovely cleats, lovely stainless steel rails, lovely LED lighting. It is beautifully, beautifully finished. You probably understand from my tone of voice just how much I love these. Very, very successful boat for us. Launched in 2020 as part of the famous 5. Built around 20 of these to date. And it's clear to see why they are proving to be so popular. So we've just come up on the bow here, just giving you a scan round. Feature detailing everywhere, from the little pop-up lights in the tables here. So we've got these lovely seats, very clever idea when they reconfigured this over a classic sort of centre sunbed, outboard decks and what have you, just to try and make it as social as possible. But you can imagine up here we do a projector screen pop up here in the evenings. You can have a projector built into the sunbed here, and then somewhere to chill out with a family and watch an outdoor movie. Centerline sun pad, these are electric lifting backrests, as you can see here, just to give you somewhere to chill out. And then we've got this linear seating area behind, deck lockers everywhere, big AV system, Sonant speakers with those Sonos zones that we referenced earlier. Nice little teak area here where you can put your drinks, and again more pop-up lights and sockets for those parasols we talked about earlier. We just stand back here and look at that monstrous glass windscreen. Very, very, very 116 yacht-esque looking aft there. And then we've got the glass sun window there for a bit of natural light down into the main bridge area that we saw earlier in the tour. So let's head back and up onto the flybridge. So you've got single stairs on these, no internal stairs, as it isn't required and we don't want to eat into the living space inside. Up the stairs here, again you can see the LED lights under the stairs, real feature. Get to the top. Imagining the boat is a crewed boat, obviously this is great, straight into the back of the wet bar for provisioning. I just stand here on the aft end of the flybridge, walking backwards, trying not to fall off. So you can soak in that giant beam. It's almost the same beam up top here as it is down on the decks below, which gives you several different spaces up top here to work with and give you your end preferred result. So we've got a secondary wet bar fitted on this particular one, which gives you further storage. Part of the options pack we referenced earlier was this lovely hard top, which is pretty commonplace on something like this these days, with the opening sunroof on the centre section and the aft sun awning as well. So if I spin around just to show you how much aft deck space here, it is vast. Several different typical configurations up here would either be some beautiful Summit teak freestanding sun loungers, or we can do a centerline jacuzzi in the middle with a huge sun pad sort of off your 116 style yacht. We can do an offset jacuzzi, or dare I say, perhaps less preferred by the crew, we can make these rails removable, crane and further water sports toys up top here. If I'm honest, given the fact that the boat carries 2 toys on the platform, for me it would either be to leave this up here with the freestanding furniture, or if you are keen on the spa option, that's something to consider. Just have a look down, take in how big that aft drop down section is. So what can we tell you more up here? Seating, this was extended on this one, so we've got further seating with 2 fixed pedestal bases on the tables there. Centre sections obviously open and closed, as you can see demonstrated here, to make it easier to get in and out of the table if you've got smaller parties. But for a large party on board, you probably get a good 14 people around that table, with some freestanding director's chairs over this side. And then opposite this lovely outdoor wet bar, we've got detailed sprayed high gloss silver lacquer here. There's some LED lighting not turned on at the moment. The features into this bar, and then the deck stools as well. These are an option. The little glass top, this was an extended custom option on this particular one. In terms of actual equipment in here, it's what you'd expect to see on a yacht of this size. So we've got a large griddle, there's 2 refrigerators, excuse me, some pull-out refrigeration drawers, ice maker and sink and what have you. So very, very well appointed. And then spinning around here onto the upper helm, pretty much a mirror image of everything we saw downstairs. Slightly smaller screens, 19s up here, and then everything else falling to hand for the captain. You can see, as we've got on many of the other models, the multifunction steering wheel there, which talks to the nav screens and gives you direct control without having to leave the seat. Cushion obviously lifts up on the base here just to give you a little bit more space to stand, and then I can see from the bow, despite the sheer volume of this, we do lose the aft quarters, but we can put some docking cameras on here if you're running short-handed, and then I can see down the stairs there enough to see the tip of the bathing platform there for stern docking. Obviously with that third station control in the cockpit, you've got the ability very much to drive from a number of different places. You can see that bow seating group from a slightly different angle. Stood up here on the sun pad, and then up top there you have that 6-foot 64 nautical mile radar. Little recess in the deck head here in case you wish to fit something like a FLIR thermal imaging camera for nighttime running. And it's worth noting, as you see, just scanning around on the roof here, this is painted in an LSA jet black just to lower the profile of the yacht from the side. As with many of our yachts today, lots of carbon fibre used in the build, and you can see this lovely exposed weave on the deck catch there. So let's come on down, just going to do a quick fast forward and we'll run around and see the boat from the exterior. So we've just come off the stand to try and show you the sheer volume to give you some sense of scale. That's a 68 Manhattan next to it. Look at the beam on this, she is vast. Beautiful twin anchor setup on the bows. Obviously that huge hydraulic bow thruster, and then as we come round, it's still going to be quite hard to see in the hall here just how big she is. These lovely aft bustles like we saw on the Superyacht 55 earlier in the week. Very, very imposing in the port. We've got quite an upright stem here to carry that volume all the way forward. She is quite a sight. So there you have it. So pretty much comprehensive look round today. If you'd like to know any more about this particular one, with the detail that we've got into in a little bit more, then do get in touch. I do have a boat in May for this year coming offline, still in the build process now. Might be the opportunity to make a few small tweaks to that if you need to. So get in touch as always. It's james@sunseekersouthampton.com, and the mobile's +44 7747 686 587. Hope you've enjoyed looking around with us today. Check back more, have a look around the show for the rest of the week.